Welcome to Mishnah study Masachet Shabbat Perek Kaf Aleph Mishnah Aleph. Over here in this Mishnah and really the Perek is going to speak about laws of Mukseh. Now, firstly, we're going to speak about carrying something permissible alongside something Mukseh. Right? So you want to pick up your son, but your son's holding a rock in his hand. Are you allowed to pick up your son? Right? Or you want to pick up a basket of fruits, but there's a rock in that basket of fruits. Could you pick up that basket? So Notel Adam et beno ve'ha'even be'ado. A person's allowed to pick up his son, carry his son with a rock in his son's hand, and a basket if there's a rock inside that basket. Now, Rambam points out when we say a basket with a rock inside that basket, that's on three conditions. Now, what are those three conditions? Firstly, is that inside the basket there needs to be fruit, right? Because if there was no fruit, if there was just a rock inside an empty basket, that basket becomes a basis ledavar ha'asur, right? A base for something that's forbidden, and that would be asur to carry. So over here we're talking about a basket that has fruit. Secondly, it needs to be fruits that usually or can get dirty, right? Like grapes, strawberries, right? If you were to go ahead and spill those fruits out, they would get dirty. They would get ruined. Right? But imagine if you had almonds in there, you had walnuts in there. You can just take that, flip it over, and they'll be fine. So we're talking about fruits that could get dirty. And the third condition is that over here, the rock needs to be really corking the hole. Right? It needs to fill that gap, fill the hole. So the rock over there is pretty much a plug, right? It's plugging the hole, and that's why you're allowed to go ahead and use it, because it's pretty much acting as now part of the basket, right? Those are the three conditions. What's interesting is in the Hibur in the Mishneh Torah, Rambam says that third condition is enough on its own. Right? If it's plugging the hole, it becomes part of the basket, and then you're allowed to carry. But you would still, if you didn't have a plug in the hole, then you would still need the other two conditions. That's how he's posek lahalacha. Different than how he mentioned over here in the Mishnah. Okay, now the Mishnah continues. Right, this is the girsa. Rambam has this girsa. To you carrying terumat Torah alongside the teme'ah. Right? This is the order. Other Mishnayot have a different order. They have the Teme'ah with the Tehorah. The Tehorah with the Teme'ah makes more sense because it's in the same structure as the beginning and part of the Mishnah. Right? Mefarshim point this out, that Rambam's Gesah here makes more sense. Right? We say carrying his son while he's carrying Mukseh. Over here, you're carrying Terumat Tehorah with the Teme'ah. Right, even though it's Teme'ah, right, you're allowed to carry Terumat because it's with Terumat Torah. You're allowed to carry, the Teme'ah alongside of it. Ve'imachulin, also alongside with Chulin. The Yehuda Omer, meaning you're allowed to carry along, Terumat Teme'ah alongside Chulin as well, right? Because over here again, you have something that's useful, you carry something that's non-useful with it. The Yehuda Omer, af ma'alina meduma be'achadumah. You're also allowed to pick out the meduma, right? Remember what the meduma was? We learned this Masechet Terumot. If one piece it falls out, falls into. We spoke about if it falls into 100, right? Of one piece of teruma falls into 100 pieces of chulin, then you could go ahead and pick one out, and the rest is mutar, right? Less than that is considered meduma. Right? If it's 1 to 99, already that's considered meduma, it's a fake teruma. Now, Rabbi Yehuda comes and says, if there's 1 in 100, you're allowed to go ahead and literally pick out that one, and then you're allowed to go ahead and have the rest on Shabbat. But according to Rabbi Yehuda, because you're allowed to pick it out, he says you have to pick it out, and then you're allowed to use it. Halacha, though, is not like Rabbi Yehuda, rather like Chachamim, that you're allowed to carry it in any regard.